I'm going to 52 different churches this year, a different place every week, and then ranking all of them. It's week 33, and I've been to all the Christian churches. I've been to a Gnostic mass, Buddhist ceremonies, meditation groups, a Sikh temple, a Hindu temple, the great outdoors, the Quakers, a couple yoga classes, and even bowling. Each gathering gets a score out of 60 potential points graded on these 6 metrics. This week, I went to a psychedelic church known as TDA, or the Divine Assembly. This place was cool. TDA is basically a radically decentralized, do-it-yourself religion built around one idea. You don't need a church, priest, prophet, doctrine, or anyone else standing between you and whatever you consider divine. The format was everyone gathers there in a big circle in this warehouse in like the Sugar House area in Salt Lake City. And it's basically a big group discussion. On this Sunday, the topic was how music can play a role in spiritual experience. And then people shared how music can like set the stage when it comes to a psychedelic or a spiritual experience. Great idea. Very cool. So we're all in a circle with like a Bluetooth speaker in the middle of the room, and we listen to a few seconds of some songs as like suggestions of tracks people shared that could accompany you on a journey. People shared things like George Harrison and the Grateful Dead and a few others. And based on all the suggestions from Sunday, I made a playlist. I'll share it at the end of the video. It's songs that could accompany you on a psychedelic or a spiritual journey. But for now, let's get into the ratings for the week. Here's how my experience went at the Divine Assembly. For number 1, meaning and message, a 9 out of 10. Here's how they explain their creed on their website. And this was also shared to open the meeting and create the container. TDA's one tenet is, each individual can commune with the divine and receive guidance. TDA's tenet recognizes worship needs no dogma. Worship requires no intermediaries. That's all. I love the simplicity and the openness behind that. But on the flip side, that much openness can, like in a spiritual practice, can lead sometimes to formlessness, which is neither good nor bad. It just is. And the meeting was more formlessness than form. Number 2, for ritual and flow, a 3 out of 10. So there was maybe 60 people there, and we started out in a circle of chairs around the room. And while one like moderator kicked off the meeting, then a smaller group broke off of about 8 people, and they had their own side discussion. But then the 2 groups were having separate discussions, and from where I was sitting, I could hear both, and it made it really difficult to not hear, not only like to not hear, but digest what anyone was saying. So they were kind of competing, and it was distracting. I did not get a lot out of the discussion. For number 3, ethics and integrity, an 8 out of 10. The strongest point is that TDA seems deliberately designed to reduce coercive religious power. There's no prophet claiming exclusive access to truth, no required creed beyond their central tenet, and no hierarchy telling members what their spiritual experience must mean. Number 4, for community and belonging, a 7 out of 10. Everyone was friendly, warm, and welcoming, but nothing above and beyond. 5, for learning and cognitive expansion, a 5 out of 10. Have you ever noticed how a really interesting thing happens in group discussions? Once you reach a certain number of people, the 80-20 rule comes into effect, where 20% of the people do 80% of the talking. Not only was this ratio in play in the group discussion, but I got the impression that a few of the people who spoke mainly wanted to sound smart. There were some helpful shares, but no truly inspirational takeaways. Last, number 6, heart resonance, and the emotional impact, just a 3 out of 10. The nature of the group discussion carries over into this category as well, which is interesting to me because some of the deepest and most profound spiritual experiences I've ever had have been psychedelic journeys, not experiences in a church, but I guess that's more of a personal thing, not a group share thing. Overall, it's going to give the Divine Assembly a score of 35 out of 60. Here's how they rank in the weekly Holy War Experience rankings. Sikh Temple. Sikh Temple is still holding strong at number 1. I think it's going to be tough to beat. Okay, the playlist, your psychedelic playlist, you can find it on Spotify. It's called Where the Sidewalk Ends. If you know, you know. Search Death Yoga on Spotify and you can save it there. Here's a preview of a few of the tracks. Thank you for watching and happy listening. I'll be back next week with something completely different.